Hey, if you're buying a home in 2026, there's a few things that you need to stop doing immediately because a lot of the advice that buyers are getting and they're still following was not built for this market. It was built for a different market, a different rate environment, and quite frankly, a different level of competition. And bad advice in real estate is super expensive. It costs people opportunity, it costs hesitation at the wrong time, and sometimes it leads to buyers that pay much more, not less. And it's simply because they've moved too slowly or they just relied on the wrong information. So, in this video, I'm going to break down the buying advice that does not work in 2026 and what smart buyers are doing instead. So, first, let's stop waiting for that perfect market. It doesn't exist. The idea that one day rates are going to magically drop and prices are going to soften, inventory is going to improve, it's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. The market does not arrive with a trumpet announcement and a gift basket, I'm sorry to say. In 2026, buyers need to stop obsessing over the perfect timing, and they have to focus on their timing. What payment is comfortable, right? What makes sense for your life? And is the property fitting you long term? People who wait for the perfect market often end up chasing the market that never shows up, and it's never what they thought it was going to be. Okay, so second, let's stop relying on automatic evaluations. Those are not accurate. The online stuff that you see, that's not what it's going to end up being. So they don't account for different things like condition, floor plans, buyer behavior, and actually what's happening within those few blocks that you're looking. Real estate is not just math. It's not emotion, but it's timing, it's presentation, it's scarcity, it's location, right? So before you decide what a home is worth, you need to know the context in which it is. Don't be blind. Think openly, right? So a lot of buyers still assume that if they sit back long enough, the competition will disappear and that they're going to have deals fall in their lap. But we all know that's not how it works. And in today's market, the buyers who win are the ones who are prepared. They're not reckless. They've done the math. They know their numbers and their comfort zone. They're prepared, right? They understand values and they're clear on their non-negotiables. When the right house shows up, they're ready to move without spiraling into a 3-day existential crisis over backsplash choices. Preparation beats hesitation. Fourth, you need to wait until you are pre-approved. This one is obvious, but yet here we are. You have to get pre-approved. If you wait until you found the one that you love, you're already behind. That pre-approval is not a formality anymore. It's part of being a serious buyer. Without it, you don't fully know your buying power. You don't know your payment comfort zone, and you don't know how rate changes are actually going to affect you. So when it's time for you to write your offer, you have to move much slower, and the other buyers have everything else lined up, which puts you at risk. Sellers know that. That hesitation and overtime makes people very nervous. Lastly, stop lowballing. There's a big difference between negotiating well and then throwing insultant numbers and hoping that it's desperation and it's going to just work out. That's not how it works, right? You're going to kill goodwill. You're going to weaken your position. And you're going to make a seller far less willing to work with you, even if you come back later with a stronger offer when you have your ducks in a row. So a smart offer is strategic. It's based on value, motivation, days on market, competition, pressure points, all those things your agent does for you. The cheapest person in the room is not going to win. Stop assuming every home is going to come up cheaper later. A lot of buyers still tell themselves, if I wait, then it's going to drop. Well, it might, but chances are it won't. So that kind of blanket thinking ignores that bigger picture. Supply is still a real issue. Desirable homes still get a lot of attention and they sell. Affordability is influenced by much more than price. It's rates, it's inventory, it's insurance, it's taxes, it's how much competition there is, all the conditions, right? It's not about sitting on the timelines and telling yourself that every property is going to get cheaper just because you want it to. What I'm finding is that the buyers who do the best in 2026 are not the ones trying to game the market. They're the ones who understand where they are and the market. So they get clear on their numbers. They stop relying on outdated advice. And again, they're not guessing. There's no guessing. They make decisions based on strategy and not on hope. The truth is, buying in 2026 is much less about the market saving you. It's about knowing you and knowing what you need and how you can show up in this market and use your agent to get you that best home that is exactly what you're hoping for in 2026.